just explaining my work in general and my background to art is like, I actually stumbled into art at a very young age. I used to scribble and doodle in the blank pages of encyclopedias and dictionaries. So I come from a family of 10 kids, 5 boys, 5 girls, but I was born and raised in Oakland. So I sign all of my artwork Milton 510, and most people think it's just because I'm repping the bank. But it's really because I'm the 5th boy of 10 children. And for their punishment, my other 9 brothers and sisters, when they would get in trouble, my mother would make them cut up brown Safeway bags and staple them together to make me sketch pads. So that is one of the things that inspired me to want to teach art to young kids, because I know everybody here in the audience who have children, your kid has came home with that picture and they show it to you of what they did in school. And sometimes we say, well, that's good, sweetheart, but you know, why don't you focus on math or science? And sometimes that can actually crush the self-esteem of a young person in terms of being creative for the rest of their life. So I try to encourage that creativity in young people. So just as a subtle reminder to where my creativity came from, in all of my works, you're gonna see hidden strips of brown paper bag, because that's how I got my start. My mother made my brothers and sisters cut up brown paper bags and staple them together and make me sketch pads to encourage my creative spirit. So that's how that sneaks into every work. All of my work is coded. It's about taking wordplay, reconfiguring moments in history, and with the subject matter, trying to kind of like give them an extended educational life. Bill Walsh, everybody talked about Bill Walsh being a wonderful coach, and he was called the professor and the genius. And I grew up with all of that commentary, but never really truly understood it. Then later in life, I started hearing about all of these different coaches who had adopted a philosophy called the West Coast Office. And when I started to investigate that, when Tracy called me and was like, you know, hey, I got this project, I think you would be great. She was looking for an artist who had a pop feel, because I was hugely inspired by all of the artists of the pop art movement. Andy Warhol, Keith Haring, Jean-Michel Basquiat. The first thing that popped into my mind is, how could I visually explain the uniqueness of Bill Walsh's genius and my favorite play of all time, The Catch. And that's how this one actually came about. So it's divided as 2 different chalkboards. Old school traditional education, green chalkboard, black chalkboard. But we all know, whether you know anything about science or math or technology, E equals MC squared means that's something smart. So I wanted to take that and reconfigure it and say, execution makes catches to win. Bill Walsh, the genius, The Catch.
Woo!